Final furlong on the outside of Slough Valley. Here comes numerous times a firm success, put to an all-out drive, numerous times, quiet resolve. Irish Prize has come from 14th. They're running out of ground here. A firm success, numerous times, and quiet resolve in a gut-wrenching photo finish in the Atto Mile. Never ceases to amaze me the finishes in this race.
The Atto Mile has become famous for finishes like that. Down to the wire photo finishes, very exciting. And from the turf here at Woodbine to the fairways of Angus Glen, the Sport of Kings has a close connection to where the final round of the Bell Canadian Open is being played today. Our Stacey Clark-Rogers brings us the story.
If Arthur Stollery were alive today, he probably would be nodding his approval at what is taking place on the land he purchased back in 1957. And the fact that the fields of Angus Glen will have seen their share of both equine and human stars should come as no surprise when reflecting back on this Canadian visionary's dreams.
My grandfather really loved the land, and that started from when he was a mining engineer and was up north and spent a lot of time in the wilderness and really learned to love and appreciate natural beauty of the land. So when he purchased Angus Glen, he was really looking for a piece of land that was beautiful and certainly had an eye for it. And he started with cattle and then quickly moved on to horses. I think he saw that it was more exciting, and plus the horses, which he loved, were right outside his front door. So he really enjoyed going out and checking on them and seeing how they were doing. So it really became a personal passion for him.
His success as a horseman began back in 1968 when he purchased 3 mares. It took only 3 short years before he was rewarded with a champion in Kennedy Road.
They're not going to catch Kennedy Road today. Kennedy Road wins it.
1 year later, Laurie's Dancer continued the streak as he became Canada's Horse of the Year. But it was the unpredictable Kennedy Road that he had a special fondness for.
He liked to bite people, and I think my grandfather, in a way, sort of got a kick out of his feisty nature and certainly had a healthy respect for Kennedy Road, and I think that's sort of how he looked at all his animals.
With his name permanently etched in the annals of Canadian sports history as a Grey Cup winning quarterback and his horse racing and breeding operation, it was time for Art Stollery to pursue another athletic vision. And in 1994, shortly before he died, the world-caliber Angus Glen Golf Course opened its doors for the world to see.
I think my grandfather's philosophy was certainly that if you're going to do something, you're going to do it well. And I think he certainly had an eye for quality, so it wasn't necessarily that difficult for him to see something and know whether it would be highly valued. At the same time, it took him 10 years to come to a design that he really, really enjoyed and thought would be a great one for the golf course. I think it's a real family philosophy to try to keep what we have and preserve it as much as we can. And I think that because it's something that my grandfather really believed in, that we really try hard to keep his vision alive and to keep as much of the original Angus Glen the way it is. And I think keeping the horses going and keeping the cattle operation while doing these other very high-profile operations is sort of a way that as a family we've been able to incorporate his vision and keep a lot of the things that he valued intact.
Stacey, thank you for that great story. Now, greatness in history, we take you from there to the greatness that is being made and the history that is being made by the men who are aboard some of the horses in today's Atto Mile. And we catch up with Stacey, who's talking to a pair of them.
Standing here in the walking ring with 2 of North America's most leading money riders. On my left here we have Pat Day, on my right Jerry Bailey. Pat, let's talk to you first about your horse in today's race. Good Journey. This horse is an extremely nice horse. You've won on his last 2 starts. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, he's a stalking kind of horse.
It's hard to say. I mean, Pat made a good point. It depends on your trip, how much traffic you encounter as to what kind of journey you're going to have. But there appears to be quite a bit of speed, and without knowing exactly where everybody's going to be, I would say around mid-pack somewhere.
Okay, well, good luck to you today, too, Jerry.
Thank you.
Jerry Bailey and Pat Day in today's big race.
Stacy, you're keeping some good company there this afternoon between their Pat Day and, yes, Jerry Bailey. And there's Bailey's mount kicking up a fuss, Jim. This is Delmar's show. We know that he's a U.S. Invader, but he's no stranger to winning on this course.
Well, no, he was here last year and he won what we call the Connaught Stakes. And traveling should be second nature for this horse. Rarely does he ever run at the same racetrack twice in a row. I think it's happened only once in his life in 17 starts. Now he's showing some negative body language there with some kidney sweat behind his hind legs. So hopefully he will settle down. This isn't the best day in the world for the equines because of the high humidity this late in the season.
There's a good and up-close and personal look at another U.S. Invader who's already tasted sweet success here at Woodbine. This is Nuclear Debate, a winner of the Nearctic Stakes on this course on Plate Day.
Well, that race, Jason, was at 6 furlongs, and today's race is at 8 furlongs, and the difficulty that this individual faces is getting that extra distance. Now, this is a former European sprint champion. We have many former Europeans in the field today, and even if they aren't good in Europe, they tend to be stands out in North America, and that's because I think we're just a little bit thin here, and they're so thick with their horses over there. So they have brought Nuclear Debate here, and the horse has done well.
Here's another U.S. Invader, but this one was a maiden breaker right here at Woodbine. So U.S. Canadian, this is Krieger A. Barcoa riding for Team Stronach.
He was developed right here at Woodbine, and then he was really taken to a hot spot in New York where he just couldn't compete. And now he's essentially been reprogrammed, a long time away from the races, a good returning event in New York where he finished a very, very good second to a horse that just missed in a big race yesterday at Belmont.
All right, I hate to sound like a broken record, but yes, another shipper who has already been victorious here at Woodbine. This season, in fact, June the 16th, Moon Solitaire captured the King Eddie Breeders' Cup Handicap.
And another horse, Jason, with European roots that essentially had a labor-intensive time over there and was really struggling. They brought the horse to North America, and he's one of the better horses in his classification. So this is a big day for him to try and get a significant win.
And we'll keep an eye on Moon Solitaire right now at 20-1. Good journey, looking for his 4th straight win. Jim, this horse has been well acclimatized to Woodbine here over a week and a half and looking to make it, yes, 4 in a row.
Well, he couldn't win it all in Europe, and since coming to the United States, he's adjusted beautifully to a point where he's now won 3 in a row, the last pair with Pat Day aboard, including 2 stake races. So he has adjusted beautifully to the North American scene. He is by Nureyev, one of the great sons of Northern Dancer. Nureyev, not only a sire of great horses that run Atto Mile, but also the sire of Theatrical, who gets many good horses that run at this distance, and some are in this race.
Pat Day victorious already this afternoon with Lismore Knight in the Summer Stakes. Here's the horse that I'm banking on, Jim. Right now matching his saddle cloth at 6-1. He likes to run late, and his name is Touch of the Blues.
Well, he's beautifully bred. He has winning connections. Corey Nakatani has made several important trips to Woodbine in the past, including the Breeders' Cup. He won a race earlier today. Neil Drysdale has had 2 first-place finishes in this race, lost one through disqualification. This is a former European horse that was all washed up in Europe, and since coming to North America, well, he's rekindled his desire.
Well, here he is. A lot of the Canadian hopes riding on this guy at 8-1. His name, Quiet Resolve.
his wife got so enthusiastic and up about horse racing. I said, anything that gets anybody that excited, I've got to try. I tried it, and look, it was even better than she said.
It just seems to get better every year, down to the wire. You must be so excited sitting in the box watching this all happen.
We certainly are. We're very excited about everything happening today. It's everything. It's just unbelievable. The jockeys, the crowds of people.
It's absolutely perfect conditions as well. Now I want to know, who's your pick?
Well, my pick today is going to be from my heart and from my mother-in-law's tongue, and that's Quiet Resolve, number 7.
There you go, the 7 horse from Mary and John Atto.
Sounds good, Jody. It's his race, and I'll keep an eye on his pick. The teammate of that guy strut the stage. We're talking about the 7-year-old son of a firm named Quiet Resolve, who right now remains at 8-1. You're watching coast-to-coast coverage of the Atto Mile on Rogers Sportsnet. Stay with us, folks. Coming up on the other side, we'll take a closer look at the field of 13 on the post break.
For all the latest scores and analysis, it's sportsnet.ca. Be there.
You have the ultimate power to look better, to be stronger, to redefine your body and yourself. Introducing the Bowflex Ultimate. Quite possibly the best home fitness machine ever made. In as little as 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, you can get real results that can change your entire body. With over 90 health club quality exercises and up to 410 pounds of resistance, it's like having an entire gym in your home. Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. Own the new Bowflex Ultimate with no money down and monthly payments lower than many health club dues. Call and ask for a free video and brochure, and check out the entire Bowflex lineup, or visit us on the web at bowflexultimate.com today. The new Bowflex for ultimate results.
When you need a sealant that's got to stick, Mono Ultra does the trick. Mono Ultra. When it calls for the best, the choice is clear. There won't be anything like it for years. Mono Ultra. It works in the sun. It works in your shower. You wash up with water and hang it in an hour. Whatever the kitchen surface, nothing.
Anything to hide.
Witnesses were murdered. Caution might be the order of the day.
I am not afraid of you.
Ashley Judd, Morgan Freeman.
Stop before you get hurt.
High Crimes, directed by Carl Franklin. Own the DVD or rent the video.
Rogers Digital Cable now brings you the most sports with the Super Sports Pack. Follow the boys of summer with MLB Extra Innings. Catch over 750.
Reverse. Here's a star in Europe. He's won at the highest level. Struggled a little bit lately just to be on the edges, but two starts ago, he was runner-up against a horse called Rock of Gibraltar, who is the best miler in Europe right now. As a matter of fact, earlier today in Paris, he won the Prix de Milan. So you have individuals that have run against this horse. Is the trainer, and Hall of Famer Gary Stevens will have the mount. The number 2 horse is Krieger. This one is owned by the Stronach Stables Incorporated. Joe Orsino trains this one out of New York. And A-Bar Koa, who usually rides in Florida in the winter and New Jersey in the summer, is here for the ride. Here's a Canadian horse. This is the number 3 horse, Dumani Star, owned by the Castle Peak Farm Limited. Danny Yu is the trainer, and Jim McElhaney, who's having an outstanding season, has the ride. The number 4 is Moon Solitaire, owned by the Alec Fair and Emil Ramsamy will take over the riding. The number 11 horse is Autonomy, and Brian Klatsky owns this one. Philip Oliver's done a terrific job training this one to 3 consecutive wins, and Patrick Husbands, who won the race last year on an upset on numerous times,
Regal Mister a little bit short of that. Let's head back once again to Stacy and Sandy.
Thanks very much, Jason. Well, we have a chance to talk to Corey Nakatani. Corey already won the stake this afternoon on Callista. Corey rides the number 6 horse today, Touch of the Blues, and Sandy had a chance to talk to
lead before. He said he thinks that's a good thing, that somebody else can go out there and take the lead, and he'll just lay right off them.
Okay, well, hopefully he'll come late charging. Well, Jason, Jim, Jody, that's some inside information from the riders.
Always can use that info, Stacy, and there is a good
lasts until the whole job's done.
The Quilted Quicker Picker Upper.
Bounty.
His reflexes are sharp, his abilities precise, and his weaponry absolutely.
Solitary Dancer finds a seam, also gaining ground. On the outside is a firm success. They hit the final furlong. Riviera short wing. Arcadian Hero on the outside is charging hard. Also coming on is Ladies Done with that weight kick. They're coming down to the finish. A hold your breath finish. Here is the wire. Riviera on the outside. Out nods Arcadian Hero to win the Atto Mile.
Surprise, surprise, another great finish. This one 2 years ago to kick off the new millennium. It was Riviera completing a nice comeback story for rider John Velasquez. Winning trainer that day, Bobby Frankel. Jim, what's going to happen today? One thing is for certain, Bobby Frankel will not win this race.
He wins just about everything else, but he's had horses here before, but not today. Well, make no mistake, the race is at a mile. It's a traditional route distance, but this is a sprint race, true and true. Any kind of style can win this. Tactics are very important, as you heard Jerry Bailey and Pat Day discuss just a little bit earlier. And the race might go something like this. First of all, we're looking for high velocity, and it's very likely to come from one of two different sources. As these horses come barreling out of the gate, watch for Krieger, the number 2 horse, because this one is probably the quickest of the lot, and he is going to try and steal a long and lonesome lead. Now, the filly Chopinina does have speed designs as well, and will want to be up there with them. But this could be a cutthroat mess for both of these horses if the velocity gets too high. As these horses head into the far turn now, certainly Krieger is trying to protect his spot along the inside. Nuclear Debate from the inside will probably edge up, although he wants cover. Moon Solitaire will be there, and Bailey will probably have Del Mar Show getting even closer. Now at the top of the stretch, this is where they bunch up, because they will all come together like a squeezed accordion. We've got Del Mar Show on the outside making his move. Krieger trying to stick with the lead on the inside. And watch the European and the American jockeys in behind horses trying to make that move. And maybe a Canadian rider will get it as well as they come down the longest stretch in North America. Who will it be? Will the speed hang on? Or could it be Pat Day for the second time today in one of these big turf events with Good Journey? Novair, he's been finishing second quite a bit lately. He'll try for that elusive win. And Del Mar Show, the best from the U.S. One thing we know, Jason, it's going to be a terrific finish, as it always is, on the world-renowned E.P. Taylor turf course.
Largest margin of victory, a length and a half, and that was the first ever running of this race in '97 when Jerry was victorious. Here is a look at the odds board, and Jim, how about Krieger taking a lot of money at 10-1?
But you know, a lot of speed horses have done well on this turf course this summer because of the drought conditions. Now, they have watered it to even it, but if Krieger gets out there all by himself, it will take a very good horse to run him down. He's had only one recent race. It was a good one, and the horse that beat him has already come back to do well.
Upsets, they often happen right here on the E.P. Taylor. Jody, what about Chopanina at 42-1?
Well, at the post parade, we walked by her, or when she was going by us, she looks just unbelievable. What form, and ready to run. And I mean, she's the good-looking filly gray. So we've seen one very spectacular one win here before, have we not?
Girl power.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Jim, what about Novair at 5-2? Does this seem about right for you?
Well, I think he should be the favorite because of his European form and because of the very good reference from Rock of Gibraltar, the horse that beat him 2 starts ago. Now, the Godolphin stable has been on a very good run this weekend, not only in Europe, in New York, and of course, we'll see how they do here in particular. This is a simulcast race for the bettors. They love big fields, and there's lots of opinions, a lot of money pouring in from New York on many of these horses. And we'll see how they play it. Tactics mean everything, and watch for the late move, Jason.
And late move coming from the horse that I like, that is Touch of the Blues. Jody Vance going with Del Mar Show. Right now we're going up to floor number 6 to check in with the guy who has called each and every Atto Mile, and this year no different, the voice of Canadian Thoroughbred Racing. Say good afternoon to track announcer Dan Loisel. Danny?
Well, thank you very much, Jason. It's 5 years of existence. The Atto Mile has provided us with some electrifying finishes. Last year, 2 noses separated the first 3 finishers. In 2000, Riviera also won by a nose. And the 2 years before that, in 98 and 99, the margin of victory was a hit. So believe me, it will be a cavalry charge at the top of the stretch at Woodbine. Novair, the 5-2 favorite, will load in the outside stall. Just waiting on Novair, and there he is. All the way from Europe with the riding sensation Frankie Dettori, 5-2. They're at the post. They're off in the Atto Mile. Regal Mister broke alertly. Chopanina is in amongst horses in the early going. Then we have a Quiet Resolve, and gaining ground now is Moon Solitaire. Good Journey is well placed early, in Krieger in those black silks to the inside. Chopanina leads a Regal Mister by a half a length. Krieger is third and Moon Solitaire fourth. Good Journey well placed in fifth, 6 lengths off the lead. Dumani Star toward the hedges, 7th Quiet Resolve. Del Mar Show is to the outside of Quiet Resolve. Autonomy's to the inside. Then we have a Nuclear Debate, followed by Touch of the Blues. Novair has 1 horse beaten, and that is Strut the Stage as they sweep into the far turn. The opening quarter was in 22 3/5 of a second, the half in 44 4. Midway of the far turn, the front running long shot Chopanina leads by 4. Regal Mister is in second position. Moon Solitaire starts to gain ground out wide. Moon Solitaire will take a shot at Chopanina. Krieger is right there. Day ready to set down a Good Journey. It is a traffic jam at the top of the stretch. Chopanina's hanging tough. Good Journey's gaining ground now. Moon Solitaire in there with a shot. Krieger is in between horses as they come to the final furlong. Nuclear Debate is unleashing a furious kick. Good Journey is hit front. To the inside against Chopanina. On the outside is Nuclear Debate. It is Good Journey. Good Journey was brilliant this afternoon to win the Atto Mile. What a great race by Good Journey, Jason. And Chopanina, man, she ran big as well. The running time 1:33 and 2/5, and that is 1:33 and 1/5. That is a course record.
That's what we were looking for, partner. Dramatics once again. Fireworks. The Atto Mile does not disappoint. Here is a look at a thrilling run through the lane. Who else but patient Pat Day, waiting until the final moment to finally put the Firecracker winner in front. His 4th win in a row, his first Atto Mile, the first for Pat Day. Hopefully, he'll keep this one. More after this.
Win a lifetime of fabulous vacations with Gillette's Vacation for Life sweepstakes. Win a week's vacation at one of Sheraton's luxurious vacation ownership resorts and hotels. Not just once, but once a year for life. Plus $50,000 in cash and a new 2002 Toyota Highlander. Vacation for Life. Enter now where Gillette products are sold. This week at Loblaws, enter to win a trip to ski or golf in the Best of Whistler contest.
This week's game, C12, Final Resistance. Take control of Riley Vaughn, a resistance fighter as you defend the Earth from invading forces. Firepower, stealth, and intelligence must be utilized to rescue humankind from impending doom. Explore 35 intense missions across detailed environments that include thrilling third and first-person action adventure. Experience a mix of combat, exploration, and puzzle solving. Narrative characters, in-game movies, and cutscenes create a fully immersive experience. You're up against all odds with the fate of the world lying in your hands. C12, Final Resistance, exclusively for the PlayStation 2 game console. Rated T for Teen.
Welcome back. It's unofficial. The winner is Good Journey at 3-1, Jim, and Pat Day does it again. But this time he's hoping he's going to keep it because don't forget 99, he did get DQ'd with Hawksley Hill.
Well, indeed, and it was a close finish through the stretch, and Pat's whip struck the nose of another horse, Jim and Tonic, on that occasion, and that is against the rules of racing. But most of the things Pat Day has done in his life are for the rules of racing, and that's how he got into the Hall of Fame. And by the way, Jason, he is the all-time money-winning rider. In other words, his horses, the mounts that he rides, have accumulated more in earnings than any other rider in history. So to win this race was not surprising.
Not surprising at all, but what was surprising is the second, third, and fourth place finishers. Chapanina 55-1, Nuclear Debate 16-1, and how about Moon Solitaire at 26-1? Jim, it was anybody's race as they turned for home.
Well, it was, and you could see that Pat Day, and he is sequestered right here in this white hat. He did not want his horse moving anywhere yet. You take a look on the lead here, and you've got the filly Chopanina, and this horse is trying to be very, very quiet. Now we go to the top of the stretch and we let these horses burst out of here, and Chopanina has something left. We actually thought Krieger might be the front runner right here, but he couldn't even handle the filly. On the outside in the white face, this is Novaire trying to make a run. And Canada's Strut the Stage doesn't have it. And Quiet Resolve doesn't have it today. But Good Journey under Pat Day ducks in here, and it's up to Pat Day to get this horse straight again. The filly has every reason to pack it in, Chopanina, but she is game to the end. On the outside, Nuclear Debate, and you can thank the ride on Gary Stevens for covering this horse up, because the horse really didn't qualify at the distance, but Stevens made that horse get the extra distance to get that valuable third money. So we'll make sure the judges have had their say before we award any money.
Okay, Jody, speak quickly there with Emil because the inquiry does involve him.
Okay, we're waiting on the inquiry. Emil Ramsamy joins me. Chopanina, what a run for the filly. She was right in there with the boys. She just ran out of steam, didn't she?
Yeah, Jody, she ran a monster race today. You know, she had it all her way for most of the way, and just got a little late in there. And, you know, beaten by a nice horse as well, but she showed that she fits here, and you know, she's just a grand filly.
Any idea what this inquiry about? Little crowded on the rail there?
Not quite. I mean, I had the lead all the way. I was on the fence, and I'm pretty surprised to see there's an inquiry there. So.
Well, we'll send you back, find out how you did. Great ride.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, yes, Emil Ramsamy will go and speak with the stewards. In the meanwhile, I'm here speaking with rider Todd Cable. Todd, we were hoping that Quiet Resolve would come up with his A game, but this afternoon he didn't.
Yeah, he just, for some reason or another, he didn't even pick the bridle up with me today. You know, I asked him to kick on a couple times, and he just wasn't there for me today. I don't know what happened. Just hope he come back good and come back to fight another day.
Did he seem himself in the post parade warming up before the race?
He got very hot before I got to the gate, and he normally doesn't get that warm, so maybe something was bothering him today. I really don't know.
All right, Todd, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Todd Cable, rider of Quiet Resolve, didn't come up with the big effort we were hoping for from the Canadian side of things. Chopanina did, Jim, but now that is in all of a sudden despair.
Well, Chopanina is being looked at by the stewards currently. There's an investigation here. The number 6 horse, Touch of the Blues, repeatedly tried to come up the inside. This is Touch of the Blues, right back here in the white hat. So if we'll take a look at these horses as they come through the stretch, the horse is last on your screen. And right now, as these horses come into the lane, we want to take a look at the horse in the white hat right here is going to come inside. Now here is Chopanina. This ground is hers, but she can't wander. So the first time that Nakatani tries to come through, there's no room. What happens the second time? He's going to come down through here and trying to come through again. And Chopanina might come in just a little bit here, and there's the traffic, and there's the snatch up, and there's why we have an inquiry in this particular event. The stewards will decide if the number 6 horse, Touch of the Blues, was sufficiently impeded.
No disputing the winner, though. Pat Day was watching the big screen here at Woodbine, making sure he was clear. I'm sure thoughts of 3 years ago started dancing through his mind, but Good Journey does it for the 4th straight time here in 2K2. This horse, Jim, what a thing of consistency. I mean, he's had 13 lifetime tries and he's missed the top 3, now only once.
Well, Jason, I've been talking about this theme of the European horses, even when they can't make it there. And the horse never did win in Europe, but since coming to North America has been one of the best. The pedigree is outstanding. The horse is by Northern Dancer's son, Nureyev. Nureyev has sired renowned milers, Miask and Spinning World. And this one competes in part for the Flaxam Holdings and a couple of partners. Stavros Niarchos, who owned that stable, a Greek shipping magnate, had a profound effect on the game with this stallion that he owned, and it produced some of the best horses at stud now, including theatrical. Wally Delassie, you see on the left there, leading this horse in. This brings back fond memories to him. He was here in 1996 for the Breeders' Cup and won the distaff with Jewel Princess. And Jason, why don't you bring us an update? Danny has just made the announcement.
He has made the announcement, much to the delight of one Jody Vance. Jody, your filly, your lady did you proud, and she gets to keep second spot Chopanina at a huge price.
But I have to admit, I did put my money on Del Mar Show. I did take Jim Banion's word on that one, and we were all surprised by this filly today. She looked good in the post parade, and as Emil Ramsamy mentioned, she ran a monster race.
She certainly did. Jim, let's get your thoughts on Chopanina. I think she ran amazing. I thought she was in very, very tough against the best the world has to offer, and she was second best.
Well, it was a terrific performance. You know, she's a lightly raced horse. She's a homebred. We talked at the outset about Steve Stavro, the owner of Chopanina, pulling off some of the biggest upsets in Canadian racing history. Thornfield winning the Canadian International. Ben Burb winning, well, what was this very race, the Molson several years ago, beating Horse of the Year AP Indy. And of course, Ben Burb's win over Ali Deed in the Prince of Wales, the second jewel of the Canadian Triple Crown. So the Stavro outfit knows how to get them ready. Alec Fair, the trainer of this horse, and Emil Ramsamy put the horse on the engine and almost survived.
Final time, 1:33 and 1. Very good clocking. And Jody, you had the best phrase moments ago.
You know, never a shortage of excitement here. Whether it's the Atto Mile or the Queen's Plate, the Atto Mile has delivered consistently on the really close finishes and inquiries for that matter.
That's right. We talked about the DQ with Hawksley Hill in 1999, and always, for some strange reason, right here on this Edward Plunkett Taylor turf course, we know he's watching today, and he's got to be feeling good about his turf because anything can happen, and it usually does.
It's unbelievable. The turf was in such fast form today to see the filly break out and just hold the lead for so long, and then to see Good Journey come through.
Okay, speaking of Good Journey, it was exactly that for his connections this afternoon. We're going to head across the racetrack and check in with the winning connection. Stacy is standing by with trainer Wally Delassie.
Congratulations, Mr. Delassie. Your horse has run everywhere. He came to Woodbine, and certainly was not a disappointment.
Oh, it was thrilling. Pat said he's trained to the minute. He really felt good under him, even going to the gate. He says he was sharp as attack, and we got lucky.
Okay, let's talk about your race here and why the decision to ride here in the Atto Mile, and what were you expecting? Did you expect this kind of a trip for your horse?
Well, actually, the reason why I'm here is because it's a Group 1 race, and it's very important to this horse because he's got a very nice pedigree, and you know, I think he'll make a sire down the road. He's got a great mind and the whole bit, and then of course he just had it today. I mean, I couldn't be happier. I mean, he runs so good fresh, And there was no mile race between the last one and this one, so I thought, what the heck, let's just train him up to the race, and sure, which worked good.
Okay, well, congratulations on your victory this afternoon.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed being here today.
Well, certainly you have a lot of luck here at Woodbine. Wally DeLassy is the trainer of our horse this afternoon. We're going to bring in Pat Day. Let's talk about Good Journey. You talked about Good Journey getting a good trip. That was important this afternoon. What about his trip today?
Well, he got a great trip. He couldn't have been trained any better. He came into the race really on top of his game. Mr. DeLassy and his crew have just done Amy and the groom. They've just done an outstanding job with this horse. He come away from the gate nice and sharp and clean. The speed outfooted us. We was in about fifth or sixth going into the turn, and was just biding our time. And come to the head of the stretch, and he's just cruising on the outside. I felt like I had the filly on the lead at any time. I was waiting around for the opposition. About the 3/16 pole, I went ahead and squeezed him, kicked on him, and he responded beautifully. Started to get down on his belly, and I got overexcited. I reached and slapped him one time right-handed, and when I did, he swapped over to his left lead. Wanted to drift in just a little bit. I grabbed him, straightened him up, and he just went right on about his business. I mean, just very professional, very well trained, beautiful job.
Well, perfect trip, a class act. We're glad to have you here at Woodbine. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.